Welcome everyone to the first ever installment of Darkness Reacts and Reviews. Now, before I continue, I should probably answer a few questions. The first one being, if you're familiar with Hellsing 920, Darkness, why are you ripping off Hellsing 920? Well, first of all, I asked him before I did this. Second of all, well, what a reaction review is, for those of you who don't know, is basically, I have a movie, and I watch it, and I will react to various scenes in that movie. Obviously, cutting out the parts in the middle, because it would be really boring just watching me watch a movie without, the reaction, because I'm sure they'll be pretty spaced out. Then, after that, I will give you an immediate review based on what I just watched. And for those of you who watch Hellsing 920's videos, you probably already knew that. Now, why exactly am I doing this? Well, there's a very good reason, actually. Those of you who have watched my last video, you know that this month, I'm doing a little theme month called the Month of Shadows, being all Halloween-y here. As it turns out, in my DVD collection, which is actually pretty small, there are two movies in particular that I have yet to watch, and I've had them for probably over a year. I haven't watched them. And there's two different reasons for that. Well, three. One reason counts for both. The other two are one for one, one for the other one. But the reason that counts for both is that I'm not really into movies. So actually having a time where I feel like sitting down and actually watching a movie is rare. But the second reason, which goes for the one movie, is that I've already watched the sequel to this movie. I actually watched the sequel first because I'm an idiot. And I fucking hate the sequel with a fiery passion. Now granted, that doesn't really speak ill of the first one on the grounds that sequels are almost always bad. Well, not almost always, but it's a, there's always a risk involved when it comes to a sequel, that it might not be as good as the first one. But the sequel was so awful, I really, really put off watching this one. And the other one is because I guess I just couldn't find a time where I was in the mood to watch this kind of movie. Because it's I know it's going to be a weirder one, probably a campier type one, more of a cheesy horror film. But anyway, impending further delay, tonight's movies, and there'll be two separate videos for each movie, in case you were wondering. The first one is 28 Days Later. You can probably barely see that because it's dark in here. This is the one where I saw the sequel. I've seen 28 months or weeks later. Yes, that'd be weeks. They were talking about doing 28 months later. That was a rumor. I'm not sure whether he's ever going to do that. But I've seen 28 weeks later. It's sitting over my shelf. And it's lucky it's not broken. Oh, bye, Maggie. Hope you can't hear those dogs start barking upstairs. Anyway, but I hate 28 weeks later. I thought it was awful. There were so many problems with this. It's one of those movies where I was watching and like every scene there was an issue. It was really, really lazy. Hopefully the first one will be a lot better. I've actually heard good things about the first one. So hopefully I'll like it a lot more. And the second movie is a movie called Return of the Living Dead 3. Now, mind you, I have not seen any of the Return of the Living Dead movies. Not a one. The thing about these movies, it seems, is that there's not really much of a tie-in between movies, to my knowledge. I did just do some research. There didn't seem to be anything that really tied the movies together, especially with this one. Maybe there's something, but in terms of characters, it's a completely different movie, so it could be a standalone film, and it probably would be fine. But there's that. So I'm going to watch these two, and you're going to see my reactions. I'm going to do 28 Days Later first, because I've been putting it off long enough, and I'm really hoping, as I actually take the plastic off for the first time here, that it'll be a lot better. So, it just occurred to me, I have no idea how to introduce, me watching this movie. I want to do what Emmer does. Maggie, it's just a DVD. Sorry, this is my dog. Hi, what's up? Yeah, I'm filming a movie. This is a DVD. This isn't food. You don't need to be here. Anyway, but Hellsing always does this thing where he's like, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out insert movie title here. And I almost want to do that, but that wouldn't be original, and I have no idea how else to, kick this off. So, I'm just gonna say, I'm putting in the movie now, and that's gonna be fine. And you're just gonna have to deal with it. So, yeah. And there's just... It's one of those stupid security stickers. I hate these fucking things. Anyway, without further delay, I guess it's time to watch 28 Days Later. Wow. I am shocked and amazed. Again, the movie hasn't really started. I mean, it's showing the Fox Searchlight Pictures logo going on. But, there were no unskippable ads. And I can't count the number of DVDs in my collection that have a bunch of unskippable ads. Which is really obnoxious to me. But this doesn't have those, so we're off to a good start. Oh, that woman looks like she's getting frickin' destroyed. Alright. Alright, I'm gonna guess that this footage of rioting is early attempts to put off the infection or whatever is causing everyone to turn into infected. Okay, I'm gonna say this now. If I call them zombies during the course of this, which I might just do, don't get frickin' technical with me about the difference between zombies and infected. I don't care. So if I do that on accident, I'm gonna try to call them infected, but if I do that on accident, don't bitch at me. Because that's kinda weird. There's this... They have this monkey strapped to this table. I don't... Wait, okay, I think I see where this is going. You know, I know movies do this a lot, but here's a very important question. They're breaking in, they're trying not to be seen, you know, in terms of their faces, which is why they were wearing masks when they came in. When they got inside, they took off their masks for quite literally no reason. Why would you do that? Okay, so is this scene implying that the rage virus comes from monkeys, or that they're just experimenting, on them with the virus? Because if they're infecting chimps with this virus, considering I know what it does, I've seen the sequel, that is not the wisest decision on the scientist's part. Wow, she is getting mauled. Okay, so this scene is proving that one of my issues with the sequel was not a sequel, was not introduced in the sequel. That the virus that causes the infected acts, it affects the victim really fast. Like in a few seconds, you just lose your mind, and it was such a It just doesn't make any sense. If you understand how viruses really work in the bloodstream, there's no way it would act as quickly as it does. I mean, I understand maybe within like 15 minutes, 20, half hour, a few minutes, even 5 minutes. Give it some time, but like a few seconds, like as soon as the bite happens, bam, you're crazy and you're gonna frickin' murder everybody. It doesn't fly with me, alright? I mean, I know that's a minor thing. Oh, God! Why is he naked? I don't need to see that. I understand they're trying to set this whole the city's abandoned thing, but this is a little dull right now. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I get it, abandoned, nobody's here, and him waking up in a hospital, this is a very important question. I might have to check this later. I'm wondering if the second Resident Evil movie, or was it the first that did that? One of the Resident Evil movies, I wonder if Resident Evil came out before or after this, because one of them ripped off the other one in terms of that waking up alone in the hospital scene. Unless a movie before both of them did that that I don't know about. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know. Movies aren't my thing. I'm sorry. This whole walking around in the abandoned city thing still going on. For like a city that's supposed to be like filled with nothing but screaming, angry, violent, infected, it is really quiet. I guess they're still setting the scene, but I got it 5 minutes ago. You can progress now, movie. And now we're running through the city. Wait, oh, that's right, the infected are a lot smarter than regular zombies because they can throw... Wait, no! No, those aren't infected, those are other people. I don't know, the camera angles in this scene are really confusing. You know, I wish I had more to say. I mean, I don't really blame our actors, because they all seem actually pretty competent, and they actually have personalities distinct from each other, so it's always good. It's just the direction here. The movie's pacing is just a little bit unforgivable here. Those people are pretty dead. Well, that's good and depressing. I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, it's one of those movies. I'm just really worried that this is gonna have the same kind of standard ending like every other frickin' zombie/infected movie seems to have, and I hate endings like that. I'm not gonna say what the ending is, but I will bitch if it's one of those endings. So, and if it's not, I will tell you guys during the review. Probably during the part where I say, hey, the ending wasn't completely awful. Why is the one guy's mouth in the top left corner of the screen? I don't know whether that's an error on my DVD or whether that's intentional. It's just, it looks like, okay, so, fucking phone. Ignore the phone. Okay, so the screen's scrolling up now. You could just see his mouth the whole time, and it's kind of it would be an okay effect if not for that one bit where it's just there, and it's like, why? And you're confused for like a few seconds. Shut up. All right, I am watching a movie. Thank you. Fucking phone. I hate that thing. Okay, here's an important question. Why are you walking around the house with a candle for a light? I understand why, if there wasn't enough light in the room for you to see without it, but there is. So the only reason I bring this up is just to present the question, why are you wasting a perfectly good candle when you don't need it? That's all I'm saying. Wow, our female lead just beat the shit out of the snarky guy, because there was a chance he was infected. You know, as fast acting as the virus is, you'd think you could just wait a few seconds to see if they start trying to maul you. This isn't like the standard zombie movie where it takes a few hours to take full effect. Okay. This just occurred to me. Earlier in the film, they established that they should only travel ever during daylight. It is now totally nighttime. They're still walking the fuck around. Maybe there's an unspoken reason for it. I mean, I thought the idea of just going out in daytime where day and night don't seem to affect the infected in any way. But when you say that, and then you just completely go against that for no reason, it's a little strange to me. Maybe they're on the way back. I don't know.
Stop talking.
Alright. I like how the movie's establishing the various different methods people have to use to survive here in terms of the rain. If you've seen the movie, you know which scene I'm talking about. I'm trying not to spoil as much. But there was one part of that scene that really bothered me. One of the things they were using to catch rain. with a laundry basket, and if you've never seen a laundry basket, you know there's usually like holes in the side with like a plastic grate. It's not gonna hold water at all. So it was so strange. I mean, they had a bunch of other regular buckets too. It was just there were like 2 laundry baskets in there, and I'm like, why are those there? How the hell is that taxi getting over there so easily? Man, that was a lot of sparks. Oh, okay, it was this tire. Alright, fair enough. I could have told you that would have happened. Like, you mean to tell me there's no bridge? Like, why? Like, I know it was the most direct route, but once you saw the blockade, couldn't you turn around and find a different route? I don't live in Britain. I think this is London. I don't live there, so I don't know. But you guys don't have a bridge there that goes over this body of water they're trying to go over to. It's only this tunnel. I find that very difficult to believe.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
Wait a minute. How is there still electricity in here? Okay, I'm sorry. Is there electricity or isn't there? Most places there doesn't seem to be. But this shop, besides the moldy food, looks completely intact. And the lights are fucking on. The fluorescent lights are on. And I think the refrigerators are working. Like, what is powering this grocery store? Wait, you're going in there looking for food. You just got 4 cartfuls of nothing but food and supplies. Why are you even bothering to go in? Why? Don't... Okay, in a zombie and or infected apocalypse, do not poke the bear, so to speak, alright? Just don't. Why are you doing this? This is easily the dumbest decision I think the main character has made so far. They reach the military outpost and all is silent. Yeah, I'd turn around right now if it were me at this point. But they're gonna get out and look around. Wouldn't be much of a movie if they didn't, I guess. Okay, I forget his name, but the dad, he's gonna die. I'm calling it right now. He's no longer in I'm going to live mode. I'm just saying.
We have to go.
Okay, here's an important question. All the infected seem to be attacking from one side. How often does that happen? You know, I'm pretty depressed that one of the more interesting characters is one of the ones who I knew was going to die. Oh. Wow. You know, I gotta give props here. The main character, despite making that one stupid... Wow! That was brilliant. I like that idea. Why are you indiscriminately shooting? Well, when did every soldier all of a sudden become completely, totally insane? Like, they seemed fine before, and now they're just loony, you know? Alright, I'm really interested to see how this one guy who's been emaciated for a while is gonna frickin' take down these guys. I hope this doesn't end stupidly. I like the way he got their attention, though. So we're off to a good start. And he's already shown that he's not the stupidest character. So maybe he has a plan. Or maybe he's just going to do a Rambo on them. Either way, that'd be hilarious. I hope he has a plan for dealing with the fact that there's 2, soon to be 3, probably 4 infected in this house. Wow! That was an interesting way for someone to die, alright. Alright, so that is that. I already stopped the movie. It didn't end the way I thought it was going to, which is nice. Let's cover the bad points first. The movie's pacing in the beginning is really, really bad. And I think on top of that, it kind of begged to have better characters. Like, okay, the main characters are fine. It's just a lot of supporting characters that just... At the end, like, I guess the villains, if you can call them that, like, they just do a complete 180 on how they're behaving. It just... It was weird. To me. But other than that, I mean, it was a pretty decent take on, you know, how people would cope with dealing with a disaster such as this, and on this scale. And if you're wondering about the ending, I was worried about this because none of the cast of this movie, to my knowledge, appear in the sequel, and I was afraid that it was going to pull one of those standard zombie movie downer endings, and have everyone like die in the end, or just have the ending like a bit up in the air. This ending wasn't like that though. It's pretty obvious that the main characters, at least the ones that didn't die throughout the course of the movie, end up. You know, I'm not going to finish that sentence. That would be a major spoiler. But I like the ending, so there you go. The camera work was weird, though. I mentioned this a couple times. It's like the director really wanted to. The camera work was weird, though. Scenes have weird, visual effects added on, and some shots are set like off center purposely, or they're behind something. It was a lot of strange camera work going on, and it's like if the director hasn't done it, I think he should really just do an art house film, because he obviously really wants to do one. He was doing some really weird stuff with the camera. It wasn't necessarily bad. It was just very strange and sometimes jarring. What else? Effects were decent for the most part. Blood wasn't all over the place, but it was still there, which I liked, because a lot of zombie movies go over the top when it comes to blood. This seemed like a almost realistic amount, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else to really say. Music was pretty decent too. It set the right mood. I think, like I said, I think the only really major things I didn't like about this one was the pacing in the beginning, and some of the, I guess you could say, the plot twists were like, really? That doesn't even make sense, you know? So yeah, but it was... I set my expectations fairly low for this one, because the sequel is... I hate 28 Weeks Later so much. But this, for 28 Days Later, this one is actually pretty good. I see why people like it. So if you get a chance to watch it, I would say do it. If you can get past the occasional flaw, it's really not bad. So that would be that. And next clip, or next video, we're going to be covering Return of the Living Dead 3. So stay tuned for that one.